So here we are in part 3. So remember, I bought these records from an estate sale that I went to. This is what we have so far. So the keep section is these, and these over here. These are for garbage, and these ones over here are we don't know. We'll have to check out. So we're going to go through this stack here, and I did go through it just earlier by myself off camera because I wanted to see what was in here, and I thought this was interesting. Let's look at this one right here on the top here. So this is Karma Saltra, however you pronounce it. We can't ride the roller coaster anymore. 1973, like I was saying before. I was thinking this before. This person that owned these must have been born, I'd say around the 30s or the late 1920s, because they really liked country music, and then they had rock and roll and soul and everything else. So must have been born sometime between, I'd say, the 20s to the 40s. And I was looking at these, and I was like, back when my hair was short, this one right here looks like it's in nice shape. I should be able to get nice and cleaned up pretty nice. And I was looking, and I was like, no way, there's a Beatles record. I was looking at it, it was like so filthy. And I was like looking at it, it's like so filthy. I don't know if this dust comes off or not, because sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. We can work it out. Day Tripper. I remember seeing that somewhere else, like really expensive online or somewhere. Might have to hold on to that one. Then I was like, RCA Victor, Four Walls, Jim Reeves. I know, and you know, Jim Reeves, RCA Victor. The Time of the Year, Brooke Benton. These are the Mercury ones from, I believe, like the 50s or something like that. Look how nice that label looks, but the record's kind of got some scratches on it. Music Core Records, Gene Pitney, Name for the Past. Half Heaven, Half Heartache. Probably, I'd say, could be a hit record. Tower Tall, Gene Pitney. So, here's Tom Jones. This is the first sign of that. First sign of Tom Jones. That's what we all do. And then the other side, Lonely, Little Lonely One. Recorded in England. It seems kind of strange, don't you think? Here's Dot Records, Pat Boone. He's still alive. He's getting up there. Wonderful Time up there. It's Too Soon to Know. So I thought that was interesting. That's a high fidelity. I bet you the high fidelity's been gone for a while. Then Lollipop, the Tourette's. Now this song was a big hit in the 50s. And later on in life. I was like shocked. I'm like looking at them. I'm like, these are early rock and roll records. Baby Come a Back, eh? So it's like some of these have yet to be worth something, but not in this condition. And I was looking at Scarlet Ribbons for her hair, the Browns. Now, if people don't remember this, the Browns were very popular throughout the 50s and 60s. They were an R&B / pop group, and then I was like, Ricky Nelson, Don't Leave Me This Way, Imperial Records. So this Poor Little Fool. So this one I hear had to be pretty old, I'd say. Imperial. I haven't seen this label in years. I remember I used to see it all the time at the thrift stores, and I used to look at it, and I used to go and say, Who in the heck would create a label like that? Perry Como, The Magic Moments. The other side says Catch a Falling Star, Perry Como. I remember that song, Catch a Falling Star. This sounds very familiar. Who's Sorry Now? The Rockin' Strings. The Rockin' Strings. Blueberry Hill. Now that was originally sung by I forgot what the guy's name was, but he just passed away not that long ago. He sung that song, and Elvis Presley called him the king. The Rockin' Strings. So this one right here has got to be kind of rare to find even an early cover song of that one. Oh Carol, Neil Sedgacka. He's still alive. From what I read online, he's still touring. He's still touring yet. He's got these mini concerts that he posts. He's got these mini concerts that he posts on his his webpage or whatever. One-way tickets. Now, Oh Carol was considered to be it was a number one hit that was released in 62, so this has got to be pretty old. And look here, look at all the dust that's been built up over the years. It's just sitting in there. That's 60s dust for sure. I heard the Bluebird sing. Jim, Edward, Maximum, and Bonnie Brown. So the last thing I want is the On the Other Side. So, and then I was like looking at this and I was thinking there couldn't be any more rock and roll hits in there, right? Should we tell him the Everly Brothers? This Little Girl of Mine. So there's the Banana Split, the McGuire Sisters, and then Sugar Time, McGuire Sisters. Claude Adair, the Everly Brothers. All they have to do is dream. Remember that song? The Everly Brothers? I'm like, these are classic songs after classic songs. In the Water Below. Don't Be Cruel. Don't Be Cruel is an Elvis Presley song from 57. Here's another cover. Here's a cover of an early, I bet you this is probably from, I'd say 58. Had to be, or it could be from like the 60s. I don't know, it's in beautiful shape. And I was like, here's Paul and Paula. First day back at school. Phillips Records again. A perfect pair. Paul and Paula. Paul and Paula. Here's another one of those Herb Albert's Tanya bass. However, I can't pronounce that word. The Mexican Drummer Man and the Great Mandolin. However you pronounce that. There's a lot of words for some reason I can't figure out how to pronounce, but here's Grace Stafford as Woody Woodpecker and the Wolverines. The Wood Yets. However you pronounce that. I'm not very good with Jimmy Christmas. So it looks like that's a Decca record, I'd say 50s. The Battle of Cucamonga. Homer and Jethro. Waterloo. Looks like that's what it says, another RCA. And then here's this one right here. Wake Up Little Susie, the Everly Brothers. Maybe Tomorrow, the Everly Brothers. Looks like that must have been their favorite group for a little bit. Jimmy Rogers. Their Hearts Were Full of Spring. I think he just passed away last year, if I'm not mistaken. Roulette Records. So this could have come from, I'd say, USSR. Could be. Honeycomb Record. No, that's Honeycomb the song. So I don't know about that one, but and then I saw this one right here. It has very unique label. Look at it. Very unique. I've never seen anything like this. I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas Part 1 and Part 2. Silent. And I think this is And Silent Night. It's hard to read that because that after being so old. Santa Claus is coming to town. Cedar Jack Christmas, Deck Dolls. The Sandpiper Chorus. Mitch Miller and Orchestra. So this, you remember Mitch Miller, the guy that recorded all of those songs throughout the 30s, 40s, and 50s. Well, that record there looks like it's probably from the 50s. Ado, probably a Japanese person or Chinese. I got no idea how to pronounce these people's last names, especially these foreign people. But the song is Ado, it looks like. The other one says The White Rose of Athens. By how light it weighs, I'd say it's probably from the 70s. The Green Door, Jim Lowy, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's very hard to read because this song was super popular in the 50s, super popular. So these definitely for sure from the 50s. The Little Man in Chinatown. So these definitely for sure are antiques. First Day Alone. The Cascades, arranged by Perry Bolkin Jr. Valiant, distributed by Warner Brother Records. So this must be quite rare. This one right here must be extremely rare. I Want to Be Your Lover. The Cascades must be extremely rare. Because I'm assuming this label must not have just existed for very long. Because I haven't seen anything reissued on that label in years. And this one right here looks like it's got something on the side there. Not sure what that is. MGM Special Disc Jockey Record, not for sale. You Just Don't Know, the Broadways. So this one here might be quite rare too. MGM Special Disc Jockey Record. It might be rare. Sweet and Heavily Melody, the Broadways. I'd say probably 60s. By how it feels. I'd say maybe late 50s. I've got no idea. It looks like it's practically new. I'd say when this came out, MGM probably wasn't around for much longer than this. MGM Records probably didn't exist much longer after this. Because it feels very thin. I'd say 70s. Late 60s or 70s. Could be from the early 80s. But it's got that kind of 50s look, so I'm not totally sure. As I just noticed this, it's got this like crack here. Looks like here, like in the paper. So I'm wondering if when they printed this off and they put this on here, I'm wondering if it cracked. I mean, you can never tell these days, but the older they get, the more issues you have, but there they are. And that's what most people would say. Let's look at these ones here again. Let's look at these ones again. I thought this was interesting to see different artists that RCA had, because some of these artists are unknown. If you look on Wikipedia or something, maybe like, I never heard of these artists before. This one right here looks kind of interesting. Memorable music from the movies. These are from the 50s or 40s. I don't know what movies would be out by then. Most of these people that are probably watching this probably don't recognize any of these artists other than like Bing Crosby or stuff like that. Look at this one. It's a guy Lombardo. That's probably all people recognize. These probably came out. This is probably all they had for a little bit. This name right here, that looks familiar. Tex Beneke, however you pronounce that. Jesse Crawford, Guy Lombardo, Diana Shore, Sammy K. Lena Horton. This girl right here, Lena Horton. She was the mother of that one guy. I can't remember what his name was. The guy that did that Titanic music. She did it alongside. I think she did. So that's it and everything else. Well, as always, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Super Satin Productions.